My word for this morning, and I invite you to explore it with me. It is within being, within be. Being from within. Yeah. Being from within.
My words for this morning were new dawn. And so when you spoke to that, it internalized it even more for me.
That's interesting, Allison. I'm out walking this morning with Maureen, and we've just been following the Venus Sun conjunction that happened on Sunday, and Venus Cazimi is what it's called, and it's kind of like a new moon, except it's with Venus, not the moon. And so, what that actually is it's a new dawning for Venus. It's when Venus makes the transition from being an evening star to a morning star. So it's about a brand new dawn for Venus. And all Venus might mean.
A new dawn. Being from being within. Morning, Pascal.
Good morning, guys.
Morning, Pascal.
Interesting conversation this morning.
Just from the words being from within, sparked a new dawn.
Mm.
With Venus in tow.
Mhm. With a focus on Venus, which to me represents love.
Mhm.
As someone familiar with, just familiar, no understanding, no knowledge, just familiar. So just creating our words for this morning, for our day, our focus, revealing what's being within.
Yeah, for me, Venus feel like a new beginning.
Mm.
It's actually my last day today at work.
Mm.
Oh, last day of vacation. And it was funny, my father-in-law was giving me pointers. He's like, yeah, this is what Kai likes, you know? You do this and you do that, and then with a broken English, it was just, yeah, it was just
Oh,
hilarious.
that's so
Yeah.
sweet, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, he likes this, and then like, no cry, no cry, no cry. You just bring him outside, 2 minutes, come back inside, look at the leaves, sit, try to make him eat. Doesn't eat, no cry, no cry. Gets up.
They sound so divine, Pascal.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great.
Hmm.
So what's new and exciting in your life, guys? What are you excited about?
I'm excited about finding a portal to the heaven experience.
Morning.
A
I'm
portal
excited.
event experience. Wow. Okay.
I'm excited about the present moment, Pascal.
Hmm. Beautiful place to be.
Hmm.
No thoughts.
I don't know that I don't have any thoughts. I don't think I'm that skilled yet.
Well, if you're in the present, you can't have any thoughts.
Microsecond. And then I grab a next one, right?
Right.
What are you excited about today?
Yeah, my new beginning with Kai.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I think it will be magical. Being just the two of us. Bounding, sharing, laughing. Going through our journey together.
Future memory.
Mm.
I think that's the best thing one could ever do for one's child.
I feel I'm gonna mimic him a lot. Yesterday he was just on the bed and just looking at like a crystal light. And I was like, that sounds fun. Let's do that. Then we look at the leaves. He's a big remembering of being the present. He's not thinking about what he's going to be eating tonight. When he's hungry, he cries. You'll let him know. He's completely in tune with his body, with the present moment. He creates as he goes. So I'm excited to be childlike.
Mm.
I'll let the other space to speak their mind, and I'll listen. I'm excited to hear more about the portal. That Craig mentioned. Did you guys see the video that like someone was able to create a portal using frequency?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Like he created a portal to, well, I don't know if he knew, but like at the time he was creating it, it was like Sedona, one of the vortex. See if I can find that video again.
Yeah, there's physical locations on the planet that are like that. One is Hawaii. One
Yeah.
is Mount Shasta in Northern California. Another one is Sedona. And there's a bunch of other ones. Those are the ones we're most familiar with because we're in the Western Hemisphere.
Yeah, there's probably one at the North Pole. I would be surprised.
Yeah. So this portal I was talking about was actually, it was kind of a co-creation between between me and another human. And it just kind of revealed itself in really deep relaxation.
A different type of portal.
Yeah. It's a yeah, it's an energetic opening or an energetic uncovering of something. Like ever since I got sent back from heaven, I've been homesick.
Mm.
I've been homesick. I've been wanting to go back. I've been wanting to re-experience that, what I experienced on the other side, and re-experience it like over and over and over again. And it's interesting that I've kind of been struggling with that for a number of decades, with kind of recapturing that. I don't want to say feeling, because it's not just the feeling. What it is though is it's the experience of it, like the full experience of it. And last night I was in a state of deep relaxation that just got deeper and deeper, and it hit me. It where I realized where I was energetically, and it was in that heaven energy. I was kind of basking in that glow of heaven energy, exactly like what it was when I was there the first time.
Wow.
So yeah, so it was a state of deep relaxation and, childlike innocence, and a really deep kind of letting go, a deep stillness, a deep silence. It's just for me, that's a deep knowing that I'm kind of basking in the presence of God. And the really cool thing is that I was with another human being right in the middle of all that, just kind of experiencing it together. Yeah, which may be a key to experiencing that. Because I also believe that the two of us created that space, and then stepped into it, if that makes any sense. Go ahead and ask what you were going to ask.
No, it's just like, when you're meditating, like as a group, how more powerful it is.
Yeah.
Like the energy combined.
Yeah. Well, it's very similar to what we do here every day.
Mm-hmm.
But this had a new depth to it for me. Like it was deep. So when I say deep relaxation and deep listening and deep, I just realized that there was more deep to deep, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And I know now that that there's much more deep to go if I want to go there. And I do. Like I want more. I want more of that deep. You know, I want to get lost in it.
Yeah, I think as soon as like you let go, like you said, you let go of these patterns, your thoughts, everything that doesn't belong to you,
Yes.
then you're getting in closer and closer to source, right? Like
Yeah.
your awareness.
Yeah, the pattern I had been living in throughout my life had been about kind of disruption, I guess you could say. It was like always trying to correct something. Always using my energy to try to make something right or make something balance. And what's turned around for me is it's not me that makes it right or makes it balance. The balance is already there. For me, it's a choice to step into it now, to step into that balance that already exists, step into correctness that already exists. And so it's effortless. Like all it takes for me is a step, is a choice to step into it. That's all.
Yeah.
You know, and to step into it and then let it step into me at the same time.
Yeah, becoming it.
Yeah, become intimate with it. Interpenetrate with it. Penetrate it and allow it to penetrate me.
Yeah, allow.
Yeah.
Keyword.
Allow that to just do its thing.
Welcome, Mona.
Morning, guys.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mona. I was just sharing an experience that I've had overnight about stepping into a love portal, a love LOVE portal. That feels like heaven.
That sounds like a feeling that you would get if you were a teenager. You go, Craig.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Teenager, working myself back to childhood. is kind of what it feels like. Yeah. That sublime innocence, right? That pristine innocence, pristine gifts, genius, and greatness. And I experienced this with another human being. So and continue to actually.
So welcome, Mona. You are joining the focus. The words we've brought in is being from within. A new dawn. Like from love and childlike.
I'm kind of
That is-
experiencing that today, actually.
Mhm.
Ironic. Oh, well, please
Synchronistic.
add your ingredients to our to our new creation, our new dawn, our new being, our presence.
I had
As
a
we gather.
conversation. I had a conversation this morning with somebody around letting go of stuff that can't change. And when you come to that realization, it's like weight has been lifted and you kind of get to start over. Yeah. And it's like being in childlike space again.
It is, huh?
Yeah, because I felt like to a certain degree, I was making myself responsible for somebody else.
Mhm. Has that ever happened before?
Yeah.
Oh, darn it. I know our patterns, man. They show up everywhere when we start looking at them, don't they?
But
Sounds familiar to me.
Yeah.
I see where the primary pattern has started.
Huh?
Yes.
Good. It's yeah, great. Congratulations. You know, you say it's like your words. It's like I let go of this morning. It's like, oh, I mean, I celebrate that with you. And it's in the same sentence. It's like we can't change this stuff from the past.
Nope.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, and then in a way we do, because you just said it's like I just let it go, and like letting that go changes that. Doesn't change what happened or how we experienced it. It just no longer needs to go forward with us. Letting go, I think, is probably the greatest skill like we could have in our lifetime today. I honor it. I honor that. I know what goes into letting go. What, when we look at it and we see it, what's the common theme when we are able to let go? Meaning, like when we see it and it's like, oh, I see what it is. I see what I'm doing. I see the pattern, the default. what seems to be always there?
There's always this. It's like there's a square. It's like there's a basic square. And no matter how much they add or subtract from the square is always there. The central part of the pattern is always there. And it's like the add-ons to make it pretty or not pretty or look different. Those are changeable. Those are the variables. But the basic seems to be there. And the variables are like chameleon-like traits
Mm,
to adjust to whatever seems to be necessary for the moment
yeah.
to hide the real pattern. And what's
Uh.
funny is that ends up being the pattern.
Yeah, good. What you triggered or how I was visioning it was you could change the shapes, right? You could change the
Yeah.
edges. Let's start with a square, turn it to a triangle, turn it to a hexagon, right? You can change it to a star, all sorts of it. But here's like what I listen to is as you change that, there's always a balanced middle point.
Yeah.
There's always a focal point, right? There's always the center of gravity around what's happening, even if the edges will change.
Yeah. It's like it's your basic personality. And as
Yep.
you grow, you learn to be chameleon-like and change different aspects to meet different situations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Changing
But
the
until,
edges.
But the basic core is where the real work needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Until you observe and notice that, and you become courageous enough, brave enough, desperate enough, whatever it takes to get you to that place, that's going to stay.
Yep. It's shifting that focal point, right? That center of gravity, that that black hole that's right in the middle of it.
Yep.
What I like where I was, I love that conversation. What I was working to pull out of that, like how to recognize that focal point appears to be where we take or make things personal.
Yeah. I think that's where that point is where we feel the most about anything, whether it's joy, whether it's pain, whether it's relief, whether it's happiness.
Yeah. Yep. And it's all like in cycles, like a pendulum, right? It's like if you're, and it's like, if you're happy, yeah, there'll be a reason to be sad at some point, right? From the point. So, and then when you're sad, there'll be a point where it'll be happy. It's just like a pendulum of all these emotions as the edges are changing, as the situations around us change. And it's not that we can be in one state all the time. I don't think we would really want to be.
That would be boring.
Right. Yet I think yet deep down we say or think that we shouldn't be frustrated. We should that we have to be happy, right? Or and it's like, there's just stuff that goes on that's we just don't like. Why? Because it's affecting us personally, which means it's like from within, something out there. How does that affect what's happening inside of me? And that is what we talk about when we say letting go. We're letting go of that stuff, those old patterns that we've said that we've taken personal, that we've made personal. Usually they're personal attacks on our character. So a big one to look at is, oh, where do I get defensive? That tips the scale that we're taking or making something personal. So how did you let it go?
Well, I was able to communicate in clear fashion where I set a boundary and I was just able to communicate in clear fashion. The boundary, and it's like, I explained I'm not upset, but this is a thing that keeps coming up and it keeps coming up. And you keep wanting it to change and this is a pattern that keeps happening. And it's not going to change because of the pattern. And even when people talk to you and they're nice and they're being polite, it's like there's a blinder that it doesn't change, but you want it to change. And I can't do this anymore because it takes too much of my energy. Yeah. To be caught up in this stuff. And I can't do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not the only one he does it to. He does it to other people. Yeah. So I just can't engage because, I just can't engage. Just takes up too much of my energy that I need to reserve for something else much more important.
Good. Look at that boundary. Letting go of the old, setting a new boundary. It's like, oh. And of course, that boundary, right, as we set it, like playing on that boundary, right, there are new situations around that. It's like, how else do we think things would change?
ODD is not a very pleasant dysfunction. I'll put it that way. In anyone.
No.
No. And it's even more not pleasant when it's like it's deliberate. I'm going to be ODD on purpose. Okay. That doesn't mean I have to participate in that. Now that I'm aware of where you stand, I know where I need to be.
Mhm. Do you see how it all comes down to a choice?
Yep.
Right. It's like, yeah, choose ODD or choose me. Because I can't make that choice for you.
No.
It's like it cuts through, the choice cuts through all of that, what we've taken personal patterns our whole life. And we can get to the clear choice of it, like the choice. I know I've got my choice and I know you've got your choice. So what choice do I need you to make and what choice do I need to make? Those are the boundaries.
Because I really learned the key to this work is being in a neutral place and not letting somebody else's behavior affect you. Because that's
Yes,
their
it
stuff.
is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And as I learned in the intuition program, and I went back through the education part of it recently, the other part of that is being able to look at people besides something from your own frame of reference.
Yep.
Because I have a hard time looking at people and thinking that they're going to do something not
Mhm.
right. That they're out to take something from somebody or fool somebody or whatever. Because I don't think that way.
Hmm.
So when it happens, it surprises me.
Hmm. Yeah.
So you have to be able to look at somebody from a different perspective and possibly hope for the best and assume the worst.
I think to hold it at the degree, at the like to see them how you want to see them through your choice. Now, of course, I mean, there's so many patterns entangled with that. So many patterns entangled with it. They're not all like, they're not present. They only exist when they show up, and when they show up, it's how we look at them. And we can use our majority, like when we become aware, right? We can look at a majority of, oh, that's my old pattern. I know, even though I've done all this work, I know it's still going to be playing. My tendency is to play that. Like in my unawareness, it is going to play, no matter how many recodes you do.
Yeah.
So it's, and the point of it is to realize when we are playing ours, because it's in the unconscious, you know. If like our infinite consciousness, which is what we work on here at 6 o'clock on, yeah, you know, it's like to be aware of that. And it's like the best that I can think of like what I'm aware of is geez, I would still say it's less than 1%, which means my unconscious is running 99% of the time. That pattern is running. And what I'm excited about is when I can be aware of it, when I can see it. Meaning like, oh, I'm not going to step into that trap again. Being from within. So I honor your new dawn, Mona.
Thank you, Jesse.
Thank you. So it's noticing, paying attention, being aware of what we take or make personal. Why does that affect me? Why does that trigger me? Why am I responding this way? And that goes into Pascal. It's like we can ask, if we can ask ourselves 5 levels deep, 5 whys. That's one way of letting it go, because it'll be attention to really see what's at the truth of it. Another one is just to sit in silence and basically go through the same thing. What do I, and that is like, what do I want from this? What am I trying to achieve? What do I need? Like, why am I defensive over this? That's the trigger. Mine was frustration and anger, right? Proving. I was proving. So I was like, well, what was I proving? What am I proving? Because see, our passion is still wrapped up in it. We're just going at it. We're going at it from a scarcity point of view, from a reality point of view, rather than from the heart's point of view.
Stop.
That's how we can create new dawns, new choices, new lives.
Yeah, that was my question. What's the recipe of letting go? It's definitely within being. Is it writing it down? Say it loud. But I think first is like, yeah, going deep with it, right? Because like the first few answer will be justification of why you're doing that.
Mhm.
And defending yourself. Defending the ego mind identity that doesn't know anything.
Yep.
But when you're past that, I think that's when like you can let go.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, it's getting behind, it's getting before the individualization process, which in the individualization process, we were becoming an individual. We're transitioning from childlike to an adolescent, right? We're learning to talk, we're learning words, we're learning the meaning of things, and most importantly, we're learning how to be in the world. And those are not actually lining up from what's within and what's out there, what people are telling us, our family structures. So in all reality, what we end up doing is misinterpreting everything, or majority of things. And there's a whole lot more than just the ones that we've made up. We've carried them through, they've passed on generation to generation that helps influence the way we see it. Gravity is an example of that. When babies see something that isn't right, they know it. Such as like gravity. If you trick them with the gravity, like an object should fall and it doesn't, they know that that's not right. How do they know that? Has to be a pre-programmed. So I think, Pascal, it always comes back to the awareness, right? With the awareness of it to the depth that it needs to be is how we can let go. And there's all sorts of processes to help let go, right? But it all starts with identifying it, or attention, or aware. Such as Mona, as you said, it's like, oh, what am I aware of? Well, when I'm not in neutral. And if it's going good and positive, celebrate that. There's nothing to let go of. Like, that's wonderful. Like, what, like, do more of that. And if it's a negative charge, then it's like, oh, why is that charging me negatively? Because just as I could see it negatively, I could see it positively too. No. Wouldn't that be what infinite conscious is? You can see both sides and choose which side you want. Isn't that how we change reality? I don't know any other way.
Yeah, last night I had this deep pattern that shows up again. And, you know, I can give and receive, no problem, when it comes to like services. No problem whatsoever, you know? Like, I'll give my time, I'll give, you know, everything you want, you need, to your desire. But when it comes to money, I'm good at receiving, but giving, it's a big block, you know? And then I had my in-laws like for 5 months, and you know, I'll cook for them, I'll do everything they want, right? But like my wife mentioned that, like she was like, you know, like my mother and father, they were here for 5 months, and then you can't even like bring them to the restaurant or something like that. And that really hit me hard, you know? And it's not because I don't want to. Like, if you tell me, like, yeah, you'll pay for dinner, I'm like, sure, no problem. But it doesn't come from me, right? So, like, it's a really deep pattern that when it comes to money, then, you know, it's really ingrained with me. So I'm gonna, like, that's why I'm very excited about that 14-day challenge, because, like, to really, where is it hooked to? I really gotta go deeper and deeper. And then like I realized that it affects like everything around me, you know? And I don't feel comfortable in that, right? It's like I wanna be given and all that, but it's just not coming from me. Like it's not like, oh yeah, you took me for dinner the other day, like I'll invite you and then we'll go for dinner too. You know, it just doesn't. And I think like what hit my wife hard yesterday, it's like my father-in-law, like he offered me like those smartwatch, right? He says like, yeah, I want you to have one of those, and you know, and then you'll be taking care of Kai for 6 months and stuff. And I'm like, well, thank you, but I don't wear a watch, so I'm good. So we went to Costco, and then like I was curious to see like how much those things are, right? So they're about $500. And then beside it, there was cell phones. And he was like, oh, well, would you like a cell phone? I noticed that your cell phone is getting old, so would you like a cell phone? And I'm like, sure, you know, because I'm good at receiving. And then like, but hearing that they gave me like something big like this, it really triggered my wife, you know, because she asked for a cell phone from her dad, and then like he's like, oh no, you don't need one, you don't need one, you know. But then like they offer me one, you know, so it really triggered her. Like it was like, you didn't do anything for my parents, and like you're receiving this, and I'm like at first like I just took it on, right? I was just like, yeah, maybe she's right, but like I give in a different way, you know, like they really enjoy my meals, and you know, so but yeah, so I'll be exploring starting from Tuesday. Work on.
Yeah, that's one way to, go into it. So here, Pascal, let's just work an example. Yeah. So how about you send them off with $10,000?
Send them off with $10,000.
Yep. Thanking them for the 5 months of work that they helped you with, the space they gave you. You give them $10,000 as they leave. Yes or no?
That's a tough one. That's one way to do it. Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yeah, I would say no.
Good. 8,000?
8,000?
Yeah, 8,000. Yes or no?
No, I would say no.
Okay, 6,000.
No.
4?
I would say 3.
There you go. So 3. Why not 10?
I don't know. I just have resistance to it.
No, but that's the same thing you're going to challenge. Like that's the reason why. So whatever came up at you for 10, between 10 and 3, and then at 3, it's like, yeah, at 3 it was enough. So whatever the difference is for you it's in that. Because it had you say no, and then it had you say yes. It's in there.
Yeah.
So you can unpack it all you want, but it's without the real experience of it in the moment, you'd never know. Like
Yeah.
without being put on the spot. And isn't that interesting to know? It's like, oh, I would be willing, it would be good enough for me to thank them with $3,000. Huh. Wow. Without even giving it any thought. Just right in the moment, put on the spot. See, there's 2 ways we do it. We can mentally work things out, right? What we just did, we imagined it would happen. And then the other one is to go through it and experience it. Those are the 2 ways we can let it go. Let it happen to us or imagine it.
Yeah.
They both work the same way. Now it's just in your awareness of what you're going to do.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, because like right away when she finished talking, it was justification, right? I was like, wow, that's how I grew up, you know? Like we were given people, you know, like my dad, like he gave us time like no one else, right? Like, and he never asked any money for it, like none, never, right? But he wasn't going like to give money to people, right? And that was my justification. But like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where it's coming from, you know.
It and as soon as you said it, it says, "Oh, I'm fine at giving everything. I can give my time," and you stopped right there. And my mind went to money, just as you said it. It's like, oh no, money. You can't even say it. Which is why we went to that little exercise. I had to imagine you giving them money, giving somebody the money, because that's the only way that it'll trigger why you won't. And I used a high enough number knowing that you wouldn't, that you're going to say no to it. So I want to expose a real situation where you're going to say no.
Yeah.
And then get you to a point where you'll say yes. And it's like, there we go. Right in there. That's the difference. Yeah, it's fun.
Mm-hmm. That's a good exercise.
That's the when we speak about awareness, that's a demonstration of it.
Yeah, to
Now
see
you've
where the
got,
block is, right?
that's right. Now you've got a head start for Tuesday when you do a deep dive to 21 days to uncover it.
Mm-hmm.
Now your unconscious is going to be pondering it, right? And some situation is going to pop up and it's going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Under that $3,000, it might be a cell phone for your wife too. I don't know. Like, I don't know your specifics, right? You need to
Right.
discover, you create your specifics. That's the beauty of it. Another demonstration of just infinite consciousness, unaware of our own blocks.
Mm-hmm.
Was there anything in there you took personal?
No.
Personal, let's see. I think when we say that, when we have that answer, then we limit the space in which we can look. Because there's always something that we could say, oh yeah, I did take it personal.
Oh,
Wonder
I did
where it
before,
was.
for sure. I did before. Absolutely.
Yeah, good acknowledgement. I think
But
through
it's
all that situation, we just weren't aware of it. But there's a place in it that we could say, oh, you know what? That when you asked me that, I did take it personal. And I would say in the way you delayed your answers is where you were taking it personal.
yeah, it's good observation.
Where you asked for clarification, right? Where you, oh, really? I can't do that, right? Right when it's like, no, I wouldn't do that. Like the thought didn't even 10 grand? No way.
Well, yeah, I guess because I relate it to the, because I'll be I'll be home for 6 months, right? Like without really making much. So I'm like, whoa, okay.
Mhm.
And that's what's uncomfortable, right?
Mhm.
But at the same time, I'm just relating like, oh wow, I can only make that, right? Like, so that's
Yep.
a block that like, oh, I cannot make more money. You know, I'll be with Kai the whole time. But that's not true, right? There's other ways.
And like Joe brought forth yesterday, it's we don't make money, we receive money.
Right. Yeah, we don't make it because money is energy. It cannot be created or destroyed. So we don't create. It's like we attract money. You know, you
But-
offer a service that people want, and then like they'll give you something in return.
Yep. What do we make? We make currency. We make currency and then we exchange it.
But in the same time, it's energy. That's why like it's a fine fine line.
Yeah.
I know what you
Yeah.
mean, you know.
Yeah. If you like think it, so I hold money as value. Like it's a value, it's an assessment, which is energy. It's an assessment of value. It's a thought, it's an interpretation, which is all energy. Yeah. Yet we make money, we tie money to currency, like to dollar bills, to Canadians, to loonies, to quarters, to coins. Those are the things that we make. We don't make them. That's counterfeit. That's kind of, now the government can do it for their whatever reason they're allowed to do it. But they make it, right? They press it, they print it.
But but like it comes back to it's just energy, right? Like
Yeah.
everything is just energy. So
Yeah.
they don't make energy. I don't know.
Mm.
Like they manipulate energy. They, you know, they. I know
They
in
make
their
it
like
in the
five
story.
senses,
They make it in the story.
right? Yeah, yeah. They have a story that
Mhm.
they make the currency and they control the currency, so
Mhm.
to make it so it's finite, right? Like so, there's
Yeah.
not.
Yep.
You only have so much.
Only so much. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating. Fascinating. Just the
They
same,
make a good
infinite
story. They
consciousness.
make a good
Yeah.
story. It's just a story.
Isn't everything we live in just a story?
It is.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because we believe in it that it makes it real for us.
Yep. And the sad part is most of us aren't making our own story.
Our stories are not true, right? You know, for one person, like it'd be like, that's easy to have money. You know, so easy. Another person like would be like, I can't even pay my bill.
That's right. It's so easy to spend and lose money.
But then the other person, like, it's like, oh, I can save as much as I want. I can spend as much as I want.
Mhm.
So your story is not true.
Nope.
Because if it would be true, like everybody would be the same.
There are truths to it, you know. What I mean by truths is like truths are fundamentals, right? They are mechanics. They are things that work, right? You have to receive more money than you take in more money than that goes out for one person, right? And then another person doesn't take in enough money and lets more out. Those are the truths or the fundamentals.
Mm.
And then we label it, then we label those as certain criterias, right? That's our shortcut in language. And then we attach that to our identity, right? And then that identity that's cemented in, but it's not cemented, but if we're not aware of it, we can't change it. And so then that reality, right, that cemented in identity shapes reality. Which isn't true, but we just shape it that way. Fascinating, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Which then says we should be able to change it in an instant. I haven't figured I don't have that formula out yet. So when you get it, let me know.
Yeah.
Just give it to me. Just give it to me for free, huh?
Uh-huh. As soon as I find it.
Well, perfect. It should 21 days. You should have it. So
I should. Yeah.
perfect. Wonderful.
Completely free.
Why not? Why not set the intention for that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it is my
And,
intention.
right. So the point of it is like, oh, there's people that are doing it, right? So then that makes it possible. Anyone can do it.
Yeah.
And there's even things that people like, there's the other part of it that, oh, it's not being done yet. It's like, oh, that doesn't mean we can't do it.
Mhm. Yeah, we can be the first.
Yeah. It was, I'm working the book Originals.
Above what?
I'm working the book. It's called Originals.
Original.
Originals. Yeah. And it's the premise of the story was um, and a professor, I think it's either one of the Stanford or Harvard, right? He got pitched and he had an opportunity to invest in a glasses company, right? An online glasses company. I don't remember the name of it. I'm not familiar with it. By a couple of his students, and he didn't think that they were very. He looked at it as if they weren't approaching it like how other entrepreneurs would. And so for that reason, he declined to invest in it, and the company took off. They did really, really well, despite all of his reasons why it wouldn't. And so he went in like, why would that happen? And this guy is known as a creator, and he works with big, like Sheryl Sandberg, I believe, the chief operating officer for Facebook, is good friends with her. So this guy works with the high level as creators. And one of the things so what he does is really just challenges all these places that we think these great innovators show up, right? And it's a great story around passion. It's a great story around going against the flow, a great story around where we think it won't work and where it does. But part of what he says is like, our tendency is to think the innovators do the best, like the trailblazers, the ones out in front. And he says, no, they don't. Usually it's the settlers that have a better opportunity. They have a higher chance of success. And he says the difference, 42% of the time, the difference between success and failure is one thing. That's a huge number, and it's timing.
Mm.
How about that for what we work here? Timing.
Yeah. Even like one of the gene key that I have is a big part is timing, and it's related to talking.
Mm.
So it's talking about, and like it happens so often in my life that I can't even count now. But if I speak too much or too fast, I guess you would say, before I completely understand the whole situation, then like people don't understand me.
Mm.
And so my work, I guess, is like, it's really stepping back and kind of really listen deeply. And sometimes I don't have to talk much, right? Just like a little spark, and the conversation keep going. And like, because what people love to do is talking, most of the time, right?
Yeah, some do,
But
and some love to listen. It's
Yeah.
like they both. What's wonderful is each of them have a majority pattern.
Yeah. Yeah, so I notice, like, when I really just take my time to listen to the person I'm with, like being present, and then like not thinking about what I'm gonna be saying, it has a huge impact.
Mhm.
It changed people's life, to be honest. It's really like, that's what people are looking for too. They want to be listened.
Mm-hmm.
How many times we hear, you're not listening. You're not listening.
Yep. It's a rare skill anymore. As if it ever was. I don't know. I can't say.
Yeah. I think a lot of it is because we got so much baggage and we get triggered so quickly with someone, so we want to react, but we're not even like, that person not even finished like talking and we already reacting. Another gene key of mine, reacting. And it doesn't say kind of the GIF is responding, but that's how I interpret it, right? Like reacting is from that ego, you'd say, but responding, it's like you listen. You listen first.
It's the pattern, the automatic, the default is engaged, right? It's just doing what it's doing in the reactive side of it, and responding is that pause and choose.
Yeah. Stepping back, yeah, like taking a big breath.
Mhm. It's easy. It's in the structure of a question. Someone asks you a question, pause, notice your automatic, pause, and choose something different. It's a great practice. Noticing what you would automatically say and then saying something different.
Yeah. But it's like a friend of mine, like he was just like, I don't know what's true and what's not true anymore. And now, like right away, I'm like, okay, you woke up. Let's unreveal everything I know, right?
Mhm.
And then like I start saying one thing and be like, yeah, that's a conspiracy. I'm like, okay, all right. So too far. But
It
yeah,
is, right? It's
that's what's hard. It's meeting people where they're at.
that's right. Which means they have to tell you where they are.
Yeah.
So often
And
we
I
want
thought
to
like I
tell
knew,
them.
right? Like I was just
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, I can tell them this. And be like, no. This is true, or this is not true, right? Right. Okay. Well, that's not how I think. Yes. But when I say that's not how I think, then that means like I'm not in the present again. Does it really matter if it's true or not, right?
Let's put it this way. Do people really want to hear what we have to say?
Some do.
Yeah, yeah.
Some do,
It's
but
interesting. Even when they ask us, right? Even they ask us, it's like, oh, no, I don't think they really do.
right.
Well, there's different ways. There's a curiosity to ask the question with curiosity, and then there's another way to be like just looking for another answer that's like theirs.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But
You
yeah,
approach both differently, right?
Yeah.
One is like your buddy is like, oh, tell me all about it. Tell me all about what you're not thinking is true. Just listening without saying anything to it.
Yeah.
Oh, fascinating. Tell me more.
Yeah, like, so I was listening a little bit of Kevin Trudeau yesterday, and he was talking about, because like one question was like, when do you think I know enough about this subject? You know, because he always goes back to the four basic, right? Four basic. And then like the person was like, well, when do I know when it's enough? He was like, when you always want more, you know, because when like it's a very basic subject, but you want to know more information and more information and more information, then that's when you know like you can change another subject. You can learn something else. And I thought it was pretty good. It was pretty good in the sense that, you know, we all like, most people be like, okay, I heard it, four basic, good, next.
Mhm.
Oh, but like the person would be like, whoa, slow down. You got four basic, let's learn the first one. Right? And that's what it came down to. Bob Proctor, when he says like he read the same book over and over and over and over. And to me, like why he's wasting his time. But when you look at his life, I'm like, wow, is he really wasting his time, or is the way to do it? You know, and then it's like every time you listen or you read the same book, you're at a different place.
Mhm.
So you have a different understanding.
Mhm. Oh. Curiosities in one and curiosities not in the other.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the new dawn. It's like the infinite conscious. It's like in the curiosity is where we find it. So if we're curious about something, we'll find what we're looking for. If we're not curious, we're going to find more of the same.
Mm-hmm. And we're not going to listen.
Exactly. We'll listen. We'll listen for the same. We'll listen for the differences. We'll listen for what we want to hear, and we'll push away that we don't.
Because I experienced that like when I, you know, this book like I've been listening like 2 or 3 times, not many, but 2 or 3 times. And then like when I get to a place that I know, it's like I go la la land. You know, because and then like every time I miss what's after. Every single time. Where I'm like, again. Just because like I know, then like I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, this is great. Like, you know, I can use this in my life, but then like I completely miss the rest of it.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
Anyway,
Pascal,
like, yeah, like I'm gonna have to go anyway too.
mhm.
I don't know if that's what you were at.
Yep, I was.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's yeah, beautiful conversation as always. And,
Always. Thank you, Pascal. Thank you, Craig. We'll talk to you guys next time.
yeah, sounds good.
All right.
Have a
Enjoy
wonderful
your last
day.
day.
Thanks, guys. Blessings.